Queen of Cups coming up here as your underlying energy. She always comes from a heart place. And I say this to you guys all the time. You guys rule the heart. That's Leo, right? Living from the heart. This is about, she's not going to just offer her cup to anyone. She's looking at, is this person worthy of this situation, worthy of my love, worthy of my attention, worthy of what I bring to it? And she's very loving. So it's totally going by what you love. What is your heart telling you to go for? Some of you might be dealing with the water sign. We have double water energy coming up here. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But remember, the signs don't own the cards. They just lend the energies to it. And remember, even if it's a knight, king, queen, it doesn't matter. We all have masculine and feminine energies within us. There is a sense of vulnerability here. I'm going to say that to you. A sense of vulnerability. Now, whether that's because if this is a love reading, like romantic love, friends with someone, family relationships, colleagues, work, whatever it is, it feels like something has caught your attention, your heart's attention. And it's now going for that. But you can't help but think, but what the hell happened last time? And I've talked about this before. Whenever, you could be in a relationship or a job, and if it went bad, you can come out of it and do healing yourself, right? And you're fine. You think you're fine. I'm in a good place. I'm all nurturing. I've done the healing. I'm great. You can have that energy. But then when that same situation comes up again, you're going for another job, or the same situation arises, or there's someone new that you're interested in romantically, whatever it is, you find yourself in a similar situation again. The first thing our minds do is to go back to the last time we were in a situation like that. That's when these kinds of fears can come up. I'm going to get to the Ten of Swords in just a moment, but have a look at your past or foundation. We have the Tower here. So you've had a Tower moment. And you know what? I was thinking that the other day, I was watching someone else's reading and they was talking about a Tower moment. And I was thinking that's become part of our language now, because with all the readings. It used to be the Death card that was the big baddie that no one wanted, but now it's the Tower. Tower does actually serve us. It frees us. But it kind of feels like something ended in a really shocking way. And with hindsight, you might be able to see that it did free you. It wasn't, because the card before the Tower is the Devil. That's where we're stuck. We're not progressing and we're not moving forward. We're held back. Something has power over us. So the Tower, it actually always serves us because it's like a divine act that frees us from that Tower that was holding us back. From limitations, from temptations, from ego aspects, whatever, but we were freed from it. But it doesn't always feel the best. And we can't sugarcoat the Tower. It's the fact that it is shocking. And a fixed sign like yourself, Leo, you do not like, changes like that become about abruptly, that you didn't have any control over. I can say that. I have a lot of fixed energy in my chart as well. And we don't mind change as long as we're initiating it. Things happening to us, no. That's like a big no. That's the control freak in us comes out and says, no, I don't know how to make sense of that. Now, what happened out of this, and which is with the Queen of Cups here, this is why this sense of vulnerability is coming in, is we have the Ten of Swords at the heart of the reading, at the focus of the reading. Now, this could have been last week, last month, last year. It doesn't matter, right? It's just the foundation of where we're going. We have the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords, it's awful energy. It's the worst thing that's happened. And now the kind of the lighter side of the Ten of Swords, if it could be found, is that the worst has happened. The writing's on the wall. You know what the situation is. You know who to trust. You know who not to trust. If there's been betrayal, deception, it all came out. Off in a very abrupt, awful way, but it came out. But in some ways, you're still being held prisoner by this. Whether it's the shadow of that, whether it's the thoughts or memories that you have of this, whatever it is. And the reason I say that, especially in this, now usually it's 10 swords in a guy's back, and that's overkill. I always say it doesn't take 10 swords to take someone down. So whatever was said, it was overkill. Now it might be that your thoughts are doing this to you, because swords are our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, and how we communicate them. Have a look at him. He looks bound, right? He looks like his hands are bound, but they aren't bound. Look, it hangs down free. He's holding his hands together. So he's almost imprisoned by the thoughts, the memories of what happened. Now, no doubt whatsoever that it was awful. It was awful. This combination here tells me how awful it was. But you're not bound by that thing, because the Ten of Swords is the aftermath, because it's where we close off that cycle and go again. We have a new truth that's come out of this. The Ace of Swords begins again, right? From the 10. But he's still bound there. He could move his hands to the front, but he doesn't. He has his head lowered as if he's lost in the memory of what happened back then. This. And that's got to be uncomfortable, make you feel vulnerable when your heart's on the line, which it is here. You found something new that's caught your heart's attention. Some of you, it might be that you're ready to go back in. You're ready to go pursue something that you love, someone that you love, even if it's just an abstract thing at the moment. You don't have a specific person or a job or a whatever going on. You don't actually know how to specify it, because you've been coming out of this. Whatever this was, you've been struggling out of it, and you've done that. You've done that now. How do I know that? Because we have the Six of Wands coming up here. This is recognition for the work that you've put in. Now, if we're going to be literal, let's have a look at some mundane meanings here. The Tower can represent our home. Maybe we got evicted. Maybe we lost our jobs. Something happened here. Devastating. It was devastating to you at the time. But you got back up. That's what the Wand's about. It's pride. It's taking pride in what you've done. It's holding your head up high and saying, look at me. As we have this victory wreath here around him, right? And he's up there and he's saying, look at me. He's the returning hero. You know, I don't know what mission he's been on. He's done it. And he's coming back and saying, I succeeded. And he gets the recognition for what he's done. And I kind of feel that. This is the week where some of you are going to have to acknowledge that, you know, whatever this energy was, it could have gone on forever, you know, for ages. It's past now. You've done a lot of that work, self-work, I don't know, patching up your home, putting in the hours at work, whatever it is that you've been doing. Recognize it. At least you recognize it. Forget if anyone else does. Well, somebody else might, you know. It's a general reading, so the energies can go both ways. Either you've recognized someone who was going through this and they've done really well to come out of it and you're ready to offer your cup to them, or they're trying to do that to you. But that's the first step here. Recognize how far you've come. Please recognize that. It's very important in this spread. Recognize how far you've come. There's been healing here. You might have found a new spiritual practice out of this. The Queen of Cups can indicate that. Healing energy. She's very intuitive. You might intuitively know something. I oftentimes think, I have a lot of other readers and people that are intuitives that I have as my clients. And I often joke with them and say, we're the worst. And I include myself in that. Because we can sometimes sense something coming a mile off with our intuition. But we can't see it because it's just round the bend yet. So we can drive ourselves a little nuts with that. So there might not be anything to react to right now. It's just been you getting back up there, getting back up on your horse. He usually is on a horse, but he's not here. Now, out of all the work that you do, out of the recognition that you get, it's a reward, it's a success card, right? Victory card. I kind of feel like there's an opportunity coming in. There's almost like an Ace of Cups feeling here. It's not in this, but it's this. This is what's holding you back because it went so awfully wrong in the past. You're like, I don't know if I want to do this. And that's why when you're recognized, maybe someone offers you something, right? A job, a relationship, whatever, something. Or you have an idea that, oh, okay, you know, I'm good now. Let me go date. Let me go apply for jobs. Let me go move house. Let me do something. But this is what comes up. The Five of Wands. Now, this is internal conflict. It can be internal conflict. And that would make sense. If the last time you did something or you kind of extended yourself or went out there, this happened, you bet there's going to be internal conflict. I don't want that to happen again. Who would, right? But the Five of Wands is not just that. I kind of see there could be trust issues here, especially if someone betrayed you or did this to you. Because the Five of Wands can be, but you know, it's not Five of Swords territory. Five of Swords territory is more ruthless energy. Someone who's willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want. But it might feel like that if you've got the shadow of this still over you. In fact, think about it. Think about it. This is coming up in the past. And this is over and done with. And it's time to move forward now. Whatever comes in now, whatever you have to deal with this week, it's actually quite freeing because it's going to show you exactly how far you've come. Even if you don't believe it, it will show you. But we all have that moment where we hesitate. We all have that moment where the shadow of the past comes and, we think, oh gosh, what? Am I doing this again? That's what this feels like. Now, there might be other people. Let's just forget all of that for a moment. This could be other people trying to take some of your limelight. You've gone and done this. And there are other people saying, oh, Leo, you shouldn't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Now, I say this all the time. When someone says to you, I can't, or, when they say to you, you can't, what they're actually saying to you is, I can't. Every statement is an I statement. You don't make any sense, Leo. What they're saying is, I don't understand you. Or, I don't know how you can do that. Why would you do that again? Because you can do that again, Leo. They can't. It's an I statement on them. And sometimes we have to tell people to back off. And I think that would be empowering for you, especially if someone took you down before. Sorry to say that, Leo, but that's what the Ten of Swords is. Someone's word, someone's action, something took us down. But we got back up, and you bloody did get back up. But it feels like it's the first test of that. So you might be feeling vulnerable. And there could be a worry of what other people will think. Even if they're friends and family members, they're well-meaning. They might have watched you struggle to come up from out of this. And they might be trying to keep you safe. But you did it once. What could happen to you? Well, you'd survive it. You survived that before. So yeah, Five of Wands, it could be, and it could actually be competition. Let's take this to a completely workplace. This might be, no matter what happened before, you might have missed that spectacular fail here, whatever. And I don't mean fail as in a failure. I just mean as in, it went wrong. Let's not kind of beat around the bush here. It went wrong. Whatever happened here, it didn't go the way you wanted it to. You're still dealing with that in some ways, but you've done the work to get out of it. Now, if it's work, you've got some recognition at work. You really want that new position or whatever it is you're trying to grow, but there's competition involved. But this can be healthy competition. But somewhere, because of what happened here, we're turning it into a bigger thing than it is. The Knight of Cups coming in here as your advice, very clearly telling you, dream and dream big. He is the dreamer, sometimes called the delusional romantic. And, I'd go more along that line of fantasy illusion if the Queen of Cups wasn't here. If the Tower wasn't underneath. If the Knight of Cups wasn't underneath the Tower. Because there's no way you're going to romanticize this. That's not what this is about. This is for the first time. Your dreams are back. You're able to dream now. Now, the Knight of Cups, he could be offering his cup of love or friendship to someone. There could be an offer here. I do see for some of you a very specific message, and I don't know who it's going to apply to. Some relationship went so bad in the past, and now there's an offer to begin something new, or you're getting to know someone new. There's romance here. There's something new coming in, but it's the shadow of the past. It's just the shadow there, guys. You can fight that, especially if there's internal conflict. Because with the Queen and the Knight of Cups coming up, bookending this is all about your heart. Focus on how you feel. And don't be afraid to dream. I think a lot of us become jaded, especially with this kind of energy. We become jaded. We become cynical. The shit always goes wrong. The shit always hits the fan. Everything gets destroyed. People always... But be very careful of the stories that you tell. Because we're writing our futures in our now, in our present. And so I feel like the Knight of Cups, as the advice is telling you, look, even if you meet someone and you think they're just full of shit, give them a chance, hear them out. Make sure you're not coming from the shadow of this. Trust yourself. Remember, you're coming up as the Queen of Cups. She's very discerning. She knows what her love is worth. She knows what her cup is worth, what her emotions are worth. She's just not going to hand it over to anyone. He might, the Knight of Cups might. He's a bit kind of gung-ho and he focuses on how he wants to feel.